if you've got two guys and they're both at the same talent level, one of them you can get on the phone with and they're excited and they can confidently communicate with you, and the other one can't, which one are you going with?
You're listening to the Football Scholarship Podcast, the playbook for parents and athletes who want to secure the best football scholarships possible. From securing a D1 football scholarship in the SEC at Ole Miss at just £5,700, myself, to helping 83% of the athletes I mentor achieve football scholarship offers and 42% going Division I, I've learned countless lessons that I'll be sharing right here with you. Join me and my co-host Brian Overton, who has 15 years of D1 college football recruiting experience, as we interview top experts, successful athletes, and discuss current recruiting trends. Together, we'll help you navigate the recruiting process so you too can achieve your dream of running out of that tunnel in front of 100,000 screaming fans.
So let's walk through, you got a lot of parents and players listening to this, and they may be interested in SNU and they're trying to get to the next level and find the right school. How do you go about the recruiting high school players? Like, what's your process for finding the right high school players for your program?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think I'm alone in Southern Nazarene University. We're an expensive school, private school. It costs a lot of money to go here. And one of the things that we do to help with that is in our recruiting, our first level of recruiting is GPA. That's one of the most important things that'll get you in the door, not only at SNU, but I think at a lot of small colleges. And I was just telling, we just finished up our camp season. We had 3 sessions of camp with 255 guys, and in those 3 sessions, which was great again this year. We cast a really wide net, and we recruit all over the country with of course, a regional emphasis in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. But our first order of business is to look at GPAs, and from there, now we'll start looking at tape and senior tape, and going from there. But we recruit regionally. We use every coach we've got plus GAs to reach out to as many places as we can, and just cast a wide net and try to get as many in our pool initially as we can and start vetting from there. But our first level is GPA, and then we kind of work from there.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it makes sense too. So if you're listening right now, I mean, like he said, unless you're going big Power 5 or G5, other than that, like, your GPA matters, right? There's equivalency scholarships. It's not, you gotta be able to, in some cases, get money elsewhere or stack scholarships and stuff like that. So what GPA are you, like, what's the GPA you look for?
We look for, and a lot of it goes back to what, when we're talking about stacking scholarships. So we look for a 3.5, and the reason our number is a 3.5 is because that's where that academic tier, that academic scholarship tier that's significant, really begins for us. And so there's a lot of different schools that are looking at a lot of different GPAs because their academic tiers are based a little different. But at SNU, 3.5 and up are pretty significant academic scholarships. And so with us being able to stack and utilizing the stacking of football money and academic money, and really, when we're looking at guys in their junior year, we're considering 3.3, 3.4 guys, middle 3.3 guys, with the hope that by the end of their 7th semester, that they're hitting that 3.5 spot.
They can get it up. Okay. Got it. So now, how do you find, like, when you reach out to players, what's kind of like your recruiting process? Like, how do you find the player and the GPA? You reach out to them directly? Do you use a lot of social media? I know you said you're using a lot of your GAs, which is smart. What's that look like?
Yeah, we may be a little bit different. We do use, all of our coaches are hitting Twitter and getting hit up on Twitter pretty hard. a main thing that we're doing is we're gonna try to get in contact with every high school coach in our region, and just try to work spreadsheets from that, and then make contact with the player. Um, I would tell guys that are listening, or parents that are listening, if a coach is making contact through DM, text, email, whatever, and they're trying to get you to do their recruiting questionnaire, you need to do it.
Yes.
And just that's the number one thing that we use really to get the ball rolling in communication and information, and really rolling from there. But after the questionnaire, man, it's just a start of communication, and by a lot of different means. A lot of players are different, and so we recruit through all different channels of communication. But that questionnaire, that initial questionnaire submission, is really what gets the ball rolling for us.
Yeah, I love that because, like, for you guys, why do you do that? Is it vetting for, like, okay, we get, XYZ DMs and emails. We have this response that we send to everybody. Complete this questionnaire if you want to be considered. And then it kind of narrows those down. Is that kind of the thought
Yeah,
process
somewhat.
behind it?
And really one of our secrets to recruiting on how we're vetting guys, and right or wrong, we like to give guys tasks. And one of the reasons that we like to give recruits tasks is it tells us a lot about the kid,
Heck yeah.
and it tells us about just level of responsibility and mutual interest and things like that. So I think that's one of the reasons that we do it. Now, there's some other things to it. It ties into our a computer program that our admissions uses to get them kind of initially in the system. It's the same system that they use to track applications for admissions, but it's not to that stage yet. So our questionnaire is directly tied to admissions in that it gets their name in the system for admissions. And so there's a little bit of integration that's important for us, but we love just the step of asking you to do something and getting it done, and just getting the initial information off of that, which it's got everything. It's got, the huddle, it's got their huddle link, which is really important. It's got their Twitter, it's got their self-reported GPA, which gives us a really good ballpark on where they're sitting academically, and along with all the contact information. So there's a few reasons that we use that, but I think at every school that's why they have them do it, and that's why it's important.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is really true. And, like, also, like you said, a lot of kids are just like, they're using services to blast coaches and stuff like this. So I think it's a great way to sift out people that are serious. And if you're listening to this right now and a coach sends you that doesn't necessarily mean that they're recruiting you, but you should do it if you're interested in that school. One of the things we talk a lot about, Dustin, I don't know how many of the podcasts you've heard to this point, but man, the first thing we tell these guys is, like, get evaluated, find out where your level of play is before you start doing outreach. If you're an NAIA guy, maybe you can reach out to some D2 coaches depending on the class you're in, spend a little bit of your time there. If you're an FCS guy, why are you reaching out to Power 5 schools, right? If you're reach out to the level where you actually can get an opportunity to play and get an offer from, start there, right? So when if you're doing outreach and you're at the right level and they're saying do a questionnaire, you do it. Like, when you get them back, like, what specifically, when you see something, what do you see that says, okay, I need to reach back out to this kid?
Yeah, like I said, we go GPA first,
Right. So the
and then
GPA.
after that, we're going to start looking at video right away. Of course, where they're from, and all that stuff, height, weight, all that stuff goes into it. But GPA, and then we want to have a valid film link on there. We don't want to click on a huddle link and it says these highlights are private for this athlete. That's always really frustrating. Clicking on a highlight that's not updated, or it's from their freshman year, or something like that. So the huddle links that are going on these questionnaires are really, really important.
The right
And
link,
so
guys.
they need to be easy to find. They need to be easy and accessible to have their video. When you click on a link, it needs to work. If you Google search a guy, it needs to be public. They need to have some highlights on there, not just full games and all that stuff, or something that their coach has generically put out and tagged for each guy. Um, and so that's what's pretty important for us.
Yeah. Okay. Now, GPA they have the GPA. Okay, I'm gonna go watch their film. Is there anything specific on the film that you're like, all right, this is the type of player that we're looking for? Because obviously, it's like once you evaluated those two things, whatever's next. But what specifically are you looking for on the film?
Yeah, for us, uh, we've got kind of an acronym that we go by as coaches that we're looking for, and it's fast, intelligent, versatile, tough, energetic teammates. I mean, that's the order of stuff that we're looking for. And we're looking for speed first. We love to see explosive speed. We love to see athletic creativity with guys that have the ball in their hand or in the return game. Um, and then we like to see versatility. Dudes doing a lot of things, both offensively and defensively. Um, Defensively, we gotta have striking guys. We don't recruit a lot of cover corners. We need dudes that are going to run and strike, and of course, DB's got to be able to cover, and they got to show that stuff. But if we're going to bring a guy to our defensive staff when we start our deep evaluations, they've got to strike someone early and often in their video if they want to get moved up on the board defensively. Offensively, it's speed, um, ultimately speed and athletic creativity, and then the big guys blocking and how well they can run and get off the football and latch guys up and move them. So, but man, that's what we look for, and then as much as we can tell, what kind of energy is a guy playing with? How does he react after those plays? How does he react with great plays that he makes? Is he celebrating with his teammates? Is he off by himself? Is he doing his
Mm,
dance? I mean, how are you reacting to those plays that are on your highlight film? Of course, we're going to see your best stuff,
right.
um, but we'll watch that. We'll watch that tape. We'll watch that clip as long as it plays and see what's happening before and after, and try to get as much information from that as we can as well, just on the attitude of a player or the energy that he plays with, the joy that he plays with before and after a play. And so that's just some of the stuff that we look for. We want guys that aren't loners. And I know in recruiting, everybody wants to stand out and everybody wants to get theirs or whatever. But man, we're so hardcore set on finding teammates, and some of that goes into the further vetting once we start talking with coaches and things like that. But whatever we can get on film, man, we want to see dudes that play with great energy, um, and are willing to share and that energy with others and make others around them play better.
If you're the parent of a high school football player who wants to earn a college football scholarship and your son is struggling with marketing himself or confidently communicating with college coaches, I wrote this book specifically for you. Inside it, I share exactly how I earned a Division I football scholarship in the SEC at just 5'7" and 150 pounds, without going to camps, being ranked, and without any connections. And right now, I'd like to give you a copy completely free. All I ask is that you just cover shipping. I'll drop a link in the description below so you can grab your copy before we run out.
Gotcha. Love it. Okay. So let's say they completed a questionnaire. They got the GPA. You watched their film and you're like, okay, this guy can play here, right? What's the next step from there? How do you get them
For,
through the? Yeah.
yeah, for us, we love game day visits. So what we do, we've just finished our camp season. So actually, what we'll do, we'll invite guys to camp.
Okay.
Sometimes the timing doesn't work out. That's fine. Our next step would be a game day visit if they're close enough and the schedule works out. We'd love to get guys on game day visits, and then we work towards those visits in January, those on-campus visits in January, which leads right into offers and signing day and all that. But so that's kind of what we do: camp, game day, visit, offer.
Gotcha. Now, do you typically do offers like on the game day visits, or is that just kind of an opportunity to get to meet them? Like, how do you typically
Yeah,
work?
that's where I'm a little bit different. So I'm an old dude,
You're not old.
The word
Come on,
offer,
Dustin.
I know you wouldn't think so, but the way that I view an offer is old. Um, to me, an offer is money. This is what we're going to pay you to play football. This is what the package looks like, and so we're different at SNU. We're a lot different. I have to tell this to guys when they come to camp. You're not going to leave here with an offer. Um, because I don't know what your 7 semester transcripts looks like, and I don't know what your senior film looks like. When I know those two things and I know what the package is going to look like, then we're going to offer you. When we offer you at Southern Nazarene, we're offering you money. This is what an offer looks like. This is on paper. I don't. There's no such thing as a non-committable offer at SNU because we don't make them. If we're offering you, we want you to come play. We're showing you exactly what the money's going to be, and an offer is an offer. And so that's where we are a lot different. We're really
Very
different.
different, yeah.
We're always going to wait. I say always. There's very few exceptions, but we would ultimately love to make a real offer after a 7 semester transcript is seen and after senior film has been looked at least 3 games of senior film or 3 games worth of highlights. And so that's where we may be a little bit different. But we're going to we're going to recruit guys. The other part about me personally is I don't know how these schools are keeping up with 400 guys that they've got offered in November or in August. I don't know. I don't want
They
to
don't
keep up
even
with
know
all that
how
stuff.
they don't know how they're doing it, Dustin.
So
They
we're
don't
not
even
doing
know.
it. When we offer you, we're offering you like what it means. We're offering you this money, this package, and that's what it still means to us. And so we do 99% of our offering when they come to visit campus in December or January.
Yeah. Okay. So you still do the camps and all that. Yeah. So I mean, it's a really good conversation because a lot of people don't really know what offer means, right? And there's a lot of different types of offers. A lot of people are like, "Hey, we want to offer you the opportunity to come play here," but we can't actually look at the numbers until, like you said, after that 7 semester, transcript. So that does happen a lot, and they may be an offer that's not committable, it may be an offer that's committable, but that depends on what the offer actually looks like. So your strategy is, here's the offer that we're going to get. Like, we're going to offer you once we already have your transcript and we can actually offer you a specific amount of money and know exactly the type of scholarship, football scholarship and overall scholarship we're going to be able to give you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, that
And
I mean that
we're an expensive private school. We don't want any mystery for parents. We don't want any sticker shock. We don't want. I mean, we want everybody involved in the process to understand exactly what it costs to go here for them. Every situation's different, and we want them to know that. And we don't want some crazy surprise when they get their first school bill. And I just think that's right, doing right by the parent. I think that's doing right by the player. Um, and so that's why we do it. We don't want there to be a shock, and we want to be able to be as thorough as we can with all avenues of money and scholarship and grant and everything. We want to know that, and we want the parents to know that before we offer.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Is there anything um that you look for in particular players, when they are on that visit? Like, let's say they have the grades and they have the film, obviously on their game film, and their highlights and stuff, you'll be able to see some stuff, but is there anything in the player that you're looking for when they're there to be like, okay, this is our guy we want to offer?
Yeah, for sure. And I think some of this may be just my personal preference and the kind of dudes that I'm looking for. But and really, it goes back before they get on campus. We're gonna have phone conversations. I don't even know how much that happens with a lot of places anymore, but we still do it. We're gonna have phone conversations with guys. And one of the reasons I still love having phone conversations with guys, and I my staff is gonna have phone conversations with guys, is we want to talk to them. We want to have a conversation with them. We want to hear their voice. We love extroverts. And I know there's some really great players who are introverts, but if you've got 78 of them, it's going to be really, really tough to generate some energy that's not coming from the coaches. So we love to get a feel for that. We love to get a feel for a guy's energy and what he's about. Um, Through phone calls is a great way to get that started. And then, of course, man, we love to see how guys interact with others on their visit, guys they don't know. How do they interact with their parents? How do they interact with their siblings that come with them on the visit? Um, we love to, of course, evaluate guys physically when you see them, and that's just second nature. But we love to see the interactions with the way that they interact with others. What kind of energy do they bring to a room? Um, are they paying attention when you're talking? Just little things like that make a big difference on the perception that we get when we see guys in person or when we're talking and having conversations with guys. But we still love to have conversations with guys and be able to talk to them and have that interaction for sure.
I love that. So when you say you love extroverts, like, do you mean guys that are like excited to be there and can really like sell you guys on why they should be there? And just like, when you say extroverts, walk me through that. What do you mean by that?
I think just for me, it's just being involved. It's being attentive and paying attention to what the coach is saying on his visit and what's going on a campus tour. Um, you'll get some of these dudes that are at the back of a campus tour just maybe looking up in a tree the whole time or whatever and not really being engaged. But we love engagement, and we love that's kind of what we're looking for, the engagement. How does a guy engage with others that are on the visit? Is he going to look at another recruit's T-shirt that may be from the same district as him and be able to strike up a conversation with that guy about the time they beat him or the time they lost to him, or just little things like that? How do they interact with others that are on the visit? How do they react with the coaching staff? What kind of conversations can you have with guys? And so those, like I said, there are exceptions, and it takes all kinds. But man, we love it when we can have a conversation with guys and it's a two-way conversation, and that's
Right.
big time for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's get on the phone, right? Let's have a good conversation with the coach. Let's be excited to talk to the coach on the phone. I know a lot of kids don't want to do that today, but I mean, Dustin, if you've got two guys and they're both at the same talent level, both the same size, but one of them you can get on the phone with and they're excited and they can confidently communicate with you and the other one can't, which one are you going with? It's like, I
Yeah, and
mean,
that's the energy that we're talking about, and um, sometimes guys are more comfortable on the phone than not, and we'll find that out in person, and that's why we love both having phone conversations and getting guys in front of you on campus. I think that's a really good combination, and we want to know as much about a guy in every aspect of his life that we can besides football, and um, those are important interactions for us.
yeah, absolutely, man. I love it. So if a player reaches out to you and is interested in the program, and let's say that they're playing at the Division II level, what is there something that stands out to you? Like if you get reached out to and you're like, okay, I'm gonna watch this kid's film, or okay, I'm gonna respond back to him. Like, what do you look for?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we're gonna look at the highlights. I mean, the tape matters in every instance, for sure. And then, one of the things that we try to shy away from, and this may sound nuts to a lot of people, but we try really hard to stay away from offer hounds. So if a guy reaches out to us on an email or on a DM or by whatever means, and we go and he says, I'm really, it's late, I'm looking for opportunity. They may say I'm getting slept on. We see that all the time. And then if I go to his Twitter and he's got 12 offers on there, then I'm a little bit skeptical. And so we call those offer hounds. And we are really
Mm,
interested in dudes that love football more than they love being recruited. And that's a hard thing to find. It's hard to find out who those guys are. but that's one of our indications of that. And so we really want to find guys and do everything we can to find guys that are looking for a home. And maybe they do have 9 offers and none of those are ones that they are looking for. And we're always open to that. But there's some red flags on there if particularly, we'll get them late. We'll get a coach in 3 days after signing day, and he'll tell us, you need to look at my guy. He's been slept on this whole time. And I'll go to the kid's Twitter, and he's got 7 offers. Um, mm, I need a guy that's looking for a home, and we want to do the best job we can of presenting Southern Nazarene University football to guys. And if it's not for them, that's fine. But if it is for them, we want guys that are looking for a home. And that's one of the reasons why we do offer guys late, and that we're not offering everybody before they come visit. Is we want to present ourselves to. We're very different here, and we want to present ourselves to a player. We want him to get the whole story of Southern Nazarene University, and we want guys that love football more than they love being recruited. And there's a lot of, it's hard to vet that out. But when we pop on it, if a guy reaches out to us out of the blue, and he's already been on 16 visits and he's got 12 offers, and it's like, you need to be finding a home. You don't, do you love being recruited, or do you love football? And so those are always red flags that we're trying to find, and it's hard to find that. But we found that if we can find guys that love football more than they love being recruited, because here's the bottom line. And I tell this to everybody when they come and visit. So if your love is recruiting and what that brings you, and that feeling that it gives you to stack these offers and to get all this love from all these different schools, if that's the reason that you love it, once signing day's over, you don't have a fix. You can't get your fix anymore. And what we found is guys that love recruiting more than they love football, once that's over, the only way they can get that fix again is to enter the transfer portal.
Right.
Now it's all back.
Oh,
It's all
that's a
coming
good
back to
point.
me, and I'm getting all that love back. And so we've done a really good job of um and that's one of our things about retention, is keeping guys out of the portal. Well, how do you keep guys out of the portal? Well, you give them a great experience. Um, you have a team dynamic, a great culture, a great day-to-day experience. But you also find guys that love football more than they love recruiting. So when that fix is gone, that recruiting fix is gone after signing day, they're satisfied because they love football and they love the
Yeah,
culture
that's
there
a good
and they
point.
love the day-to-day. And so I think that's really important for us. Um, and it gets harder and harder to find out if a guy loves recruiting or loves football. But we try everything we can to do it. And one of our main things that we have to look at on that is guys that are stacking offers, that are slow playing. Once we get an offer in a guy's hand and he's slow playing us, once he's already got, let's say we're his 5th offer and he's still slow playing us, that's a red flag for us. And so those are just some of the things that we look for, and some of the things that may make us a lot different than a lot of other places.
Yeah, I get it. Everyone's like, it's like vanity metrics on X. Like, how many offers can I get? And I understand that thought process, but at the same time, it's what are the quality offers? What are you and also not lying. Like, you can't tell a coach I'm being slept on and have 12 offers. Like, just be upfront. Just say, hey, coach,
You'd be
I'm interested in
surprised.
SNU. I've got some other offers, but I'm also interested in exploring SNU, and then potentially go down that route. Just be upfront about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but you made a really good point there, I think, from a coach's perspective, which is the guys that are just like hunting offers just to get offers, there might be a correlation between that and the portal. That might be a real thing. So that's
Yeah, I
definitely
think it is. And one of the things that I would encourage guys to do is, and this is what we want, if you have 8 offers and we're one of them, that's great. But we want you to be evaluating these offers. We want you to be doing a compare and contrast. Yes, the money matters, but the academics matter. The culture of what you saw in your visit matters. The culture that you saw in your game day visit, that matters. Be comparing and contrasting. understand, be ready to mark off schools, um, and keep a short list. And that's it's okay to have 8 offers, but man, be narrowing your list. Be narrowing your list every time you take a visit somewhere. Be comparing and contrasting all those offers that you have. You've got to find a home that fits you. You've got to find a culture that fits you. You've got to find a university that fits you, so that you can have a really good experience for your 4 or 5 years in college. And so it's okay to have that many offers. It's okay to have a lot of offers, as long as, man, you're really evaluating what you're seeing. You're evaluating what you're feeling from those schools, and is it going to fit? Am I looking for a home? And so that's all we want. We want guys that are searching for a home, and are evaluating. We love it when guys go to on multiple visits. It just gives them a frame of reference back to SNU. How does SNU compare to that? Right or wrong, good or bad? Does it fit or not? And so we love that. But man, self evaluate and see, and keep scratching teams off your list, and keeping a short list of what's important to you, and who matches up with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that. I'm curious because you said, you go and you look at, X accounts. When you do look, check out a kid's profile, like let's say he's got the grades, you watch this film. What do you look for, like when they're posting? Is there anything like, what are you looking out for?
Positive stuff, man. Positive stuff. Positive. Negative stuff on Twitter is a big turnoff. I personally love it when I get on and a guy is shouting out his teammates, or he's reposting something that happened to his teammate, an award that a teammate got, or talking good about his position coach, or talking good or showing off something that his buddy did. I love just selfless stuff on Twitter that's not necessarily self-promoting, but it's just positive, and it's team, and it's we love seeing that stuff. I do personally. Um, Stuff that's building up, not tearing down. So just really positive things, and um, of course, you hate to see any negative stuff that might be, objectionable culturally or whatever. But I like to look at the positive stuff, and I like to see positive positive things, and really some indication that there's some selflessness involved with that athlete, and that he's a team guy, and whatever that may look like, is what we're looking for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I see some kids arguing on X. I'm like, what are you doing, man? This is not. This isn't it. This isn't
Yeah.
it. Gotcha.
You'd be
Okay.
surprised. I mean, it's surprising sometimes, and of some of the guidance that these guys may not get. You can tell the ones that have had good guidance in how to run their social media accounts, and you can more times tell the ones that haven't. And so that's what we're looking for. Be positive, be a team guy, and find a way to show that.
And will you take them like right off your board if you see a bunch of negative stuff, or how do you typically go about
Yeah,
that?
we're pretty good. We're pretty good about that, and we just got there's too many options, and so, and I think
Yeah.
we're in the same boat as a lot of small colleges. We got too many options to have to mess with a lot of that stuff, and
Yeah. So if you're
we come across an account that's maybe even right or wrong, guys griping about officials retweeting their dad who's griping about their position coach or their playing time or how they handled an injury or things like that. I mean, those are big time. I mean, that'll yeah, no time for that. So it's rare, but it happens. Just be really cognizant of what you're putting out there, and understand it's a resume, and it's an advertisement, and and
yeah.
and what you're putting out there is important.
And it's not just X too. Like our head coach, his name's Brian. He's been a director of recruiting for about 15 years, and he said the first thing he would do is look at their X and be like, "Oh, this is really nice." And then you go look at their Instagram and your TikTok, and you're like, "Whoa, this is a completely different person over here." And he would take them right off their board. He's like,
Yeah, for
"You're,
sure,
you're, yeah, we're not doing this."
for sure. And
So
we're gonna do as much as we can to find out. I mean, just to keep in mind, the whole point of that whole journey is to get to know the player. Um,
yeah,
And it's the same way with somebody looks at our ex. I want them, if they're looking at my Twitter profile, I want them through that to understand more about who I am as a coach. I want them to understand more about who we are as a program. And it's the same thing for them. This whole journey through Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, X is all just a journey to try to get to know that player better and deeper and more and know more about what they're about. And so just keep that in mind as you're putting stuff out, man. This is a resume, it's an advertisement, it's a journey and relationship with the people that are recruiting you, and they want to know as much as they can. Um, and that's what we're using it for.
Yeah, it's an opportunity, guys, to get so that for you to put who you are out there so coaches can get to know you. It's something that, like, I mean, this is the last 5 years. Like, you have something that no players had before. You have an opportunity to prove to coaches that you're worthy of an opportunity, to prove to coaches that you're good enough, that you have the grades, that you have the character. These are all things you could post on social media and coaches can get to know you a little bit. Then you get on the phone and you're like, "Oh, I'm excited," and you're great communicating with the coach. And then obviously you're a good player. And then when you get there to the school, you interact great with the other guys. These are all things that you can control, right? These are all controllable things, and it's just about being a good person. So, it's really good, Dustin. Really, really good information. So, if for parents and players out there, if you wanted to share anything about SNU to families that are interested in looking for the right home, what would you like to share with them about SNU and the potential opportunity to play there?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we're really intentional about, and that makes us a little bit different, and maybe a lot different than some places, but we're very intentional about our relationships, and I think that's what sets us apart from the way that we do our academics, from the way that we interact with our players as position coaches, and even as the head coach. We're intentional on our relationships, and we want guys to be their best in all areas of their life, and we work to that end in through relationships. And I think that makes us a lot different. The relationships that we have with our players is not based on performance or production. And I think that's what makes us unique. And I think that's one of the ways that we're getting guys a great football experience with great team culture and great teammates. Guys like being here, and guys like they love to stay and play. And we've had over 105 guys the last 2 springs. Um, we're not losing guys to the portal, and I think one of the reasons for that is the culture that we have in our locker room, the relationships that our players have with our coaches and their position coach, and really all the coaches across the board, and that's what makes us unique. And you're going to maximize your potential here and have a great college football experience which is what you need to have. And you're going to mess around and get 1 or 2 degrees by the time you're done with your eligibility, and it's going to be you're going to get out of here being a great husband, a great father, and a great worker for sure, and have a blast doing it. So that's kind of my recruiting spiel, and what we're trying to offer here, and we're just plugging away, man, trying to have a great time and give these guys a great college football experience.
That's awesome. I love it. And if a player wants to reach out to you, what is the best way? Is it social media? Is it to send an email? What is the best way to reach out?
Yeah, don't DM me, but you can find my assistants are a lot better than I am on there. You can find my email on our website. That's probably if you want to reach me. I'm an old dude, and I'm an email guy. But man, all of our coaches are on our athletics website. Just find it snu.edu, and go to our athletics site. You can find all of our coaches on there. They're all better at Twitter than I am. Every single one
Or
of them.
just how
So.
about how about just do
Um,
the questionnaire? How about let's start with
and
doing the questionnaire.
if you do our questionnaire, it's going to get to the right guy for sure. As long as you put
Let's
as long
start
as you
there.
put your hometown on there,
Let's start there and
that
then
is a great first step. And you can find that
on the
on our
website.
athletics website, and go from there. But that would be a great step, and we would love to hear from from guys that want to play football and want to play at the college level and have a great time doing it.
Yeah, I love that. Guys, if you're grading, get an evaluation. If you're grading at the D2 level and you've really enjoyed what Dustin had to say, go to their website quick, do their questionnaire, and then follow the process. Reach out, find the area coach, and go from there. But they'll probably, depend. Their process seems very questionnaire oriented, but it's a great place to start. Dustin, it's been awesome
Yep.
to have you. Really appreciate it, and hopefully we could have you on again maybe next year.
Also, I appreciate your time,
Follow up.
man. And players, if you love to play with joyous violence, hit us up, man. We would love to have you.
Islands, baby. Nothing like it especially on defense. Love it. Dustin, thank you so much,
Absolutely.
man.
Appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Football Scholarship Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. And for more free resources, or if you're interested in working with us, visit gonextplay.com. Until next time.